The FNAF movie and the games are supposed to tell the same story, but if you really pay attention, they don't match. Same characters, same events, same names, so why do they feel like two completely different timelines? If you've been following FNAF for a while, you already know the story isn't simple. The games never just tell you what's happening, they hide it. In minigames, in background details, and in things you barely notice, you have to piece it together. So when the movie was announced, people expected one thing: answers. A clear version of the story, something that finally explains everything. But instead, we got a second version of the same story. So in this video, we're going to break down the FNAF movie versus the original game lore, look at what changed, what stayed the same, and figure out one thing: which version of FNAF is actually real. So, beginning with William Afton. In the games, William Afton doesn't feel like a normal character. He feels like something you're not supposed to fully see. You don't get long conversations, you don't get clear motivations, and you barely even see his face. Most of what we know about him comes from the short minigames, and even those are very vague. He's not built like a movie villain, he's built like a mystery. And that mystery is what makes him terrifying, because your brain fills in the gaps, and what you imagine is always worse. Now, look at the movie version of Afton. He's not hidden anymore. He talks, he interacts, he has presence. You don't understand him more, you see him. You can actually follow what he's doing. And that changes everything. Because fear works differently depending on how much you know. In the games, Afton isn't scary because you don't understand him. In the movie, he's less mysterious, but more human. And here's the real question: which one's actually better? Do you want a monster you don't understand, or a villain you can actually follow? So, now the animatronics. In the games, the animatronics are simple. They are there to kill you. No hesitation, no warning, no emotion. You sit in that office, watching cameras, and you know they're coming for you. There's no conversation, no understanding, just survival. But the movie completely changes how we see them. They show emotion, they interact with Abby, and they aren't always aggressive. And suddenly, they don't feel like monsters anymore. They feel like children. And that shift changes the entire tone of FNAF. Because now the animatronics aren't just something to fear, they're something to understand. So, what's actually scarier? Fear or sympathy? If you're actually enjoying this breakdown, subscribe, because we're diving into all of FNAF just like this. Now, the story. The games don't give you a story, they give you pieces. Hidden minigames, background clues, and cryptic details, and you have to connect them yourself. That's why FNAF became so big, because the community built the story together. The movie takes the opposite approach. It gives you direct storytelling, clear character motivations, and emotional focus. You don't have to guess, you're told what's happening. But here's the problem: when you simplify a story, you also change it. Details get removed, mystery disappears, and sometimes meaning changes completely. So, which one do you like more? The oversimplified story of FNAF or the pieces that we get from the game? In the games, you're trapped, you're powerless, you're reacting. Everything is built around fear. In the movie, you follow characters, you understand motives, and you watch the story unfold. It's less about fear and more about story. Did FNAF lose what made it special, or did it evolve into something bigger? So now we have two versions of FNAF. One is dark, confusing, and hidden, and the other one is clear, emotional, and direct. They tell the same story, but they don't feel the same. The movie isn't replacing the games, it's retelling them, a cleaner version of a story that was never meant to be simple. Or the truth is, the movie isn't canon at all. The scariest part about FNAF isn't the animatronics, it's that we don't even know which version of the story is real. Now, before you go into the comments, let me clarify something. I'm not saying the movie is wrong, and I'm not saying the games are wrong either. What I am saying is that they're telling the same story in two completely different ways. The games are built on mystery. They hide information, they make you figure things out, and they leave the room for interpretation. The movie does the opposite. It shows you the story directly. It focuses on characters and makes things easier to understand. And when you take a story built on mystery and turn it into something direct, things are going to change. This doesn't mean one version is better than the other, it just means that they serve different purposes. One is meant to confuse you, the other is meant to guide you. So the real question is, which one is correct? It's which version of the story do you believe? Do you trust the games or the movie? Because honestly, I don't think they're telling the exact same truth. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe, because FNAF gets deeper the more you look into it.